I misread on that putt. I thought it was gonna break a lot more than it actually did. It was pretty straight. But yeah, that's 9 holes. I think I was like 2 under or something. Yeah, 2 under. It's been a while since I've shot like more than 3 under, like gone really low. This course is a good representation of the distances that we play because it's like 6,500 something, 6,500 something. So yeah, let's try to do something on this line. I know you guys also like it when I do voiceovers versus talking, but number one, this is actually so much faster for me to edit. I know that's like the lazy way of saying it, but also I have a lot of fun talking to you guys. I mean, technically I'm talking to myself, but I guess I just got a lot of things to say, and it's kind of fun to record myself sometimes. So I hope you guys don't mind this format either. And yeah, let's go on to the 10 hole. Water down the right side. Looks like I just want to kind of aim at that stick out there. So you can see for this approach shot, pretty much nothing. So I'm probably going to record like front view on this swing. I know a lot of you guys ask for like more variations when there's something on the green, or like there's bunkers or hazards and stuff guarding the green. I like to show you guys the back view so you can kind of see what I'm aiming for, what I'm going, what my target is, the reasoning behind my target, etc. But when there's something like this, when there's pretty much nothing, then that's usually when I do like a front view. It was a short approach shot, but not the easiest because of the lie. I think you could tell from the front video actually that I was standing pretty much with the ball below the feet, but also like going downhill towards the pin, which is not the easiest because you are going to probably get the ball shooting out like a bit of a flyer, but also the pin was in front, so I had to make sure I had enough to carry it there, because if not, you're gonna end up chipping, which obviously is better to be on the green and putting long distance than to be like chipping when you have a pitching wedge into the green. So that putt I definitely pushed. I was aiming to go left to right, like just left inside, and I definitely started the ball right over that putt. I didn't feel the most comfortable, and that's probably why I pushed it, because I didn't trust it. But it's also interesting to have video of yourself, because then you know when you're thinking and you're not really committed to your shot, what happens. You go a little bit slower, or do you go a little bit faster? You know, what really happens, and like what causes you to either hit a bad shot or hit a bad putt, whatever it is. But we all have tendencies, so most of the time when you can identify those tendencies and you can like know, okay, maybe here you're a little bit nervous or you just don't feel right, what's gonna happen? If you tend to go too fast, maybe you can tell yourself to slow down before you hit, or vice versa, whatever it is. But that's why it's important to know this kind of things and know your game, because that's how you improve. Long par 5 here, pretty much nothing, just gonna aim to that tallest tree. So this is where I'm at. Second shot looks like there's nothing. Hazard is over there, but it's like really short. Probably just gonna aim for that left green side bunker. When I find myself at the distance like what I had for a par 5 for my second shot, like 290, I tend to find myself reaching for my 5-wood. I've said this before, but there's not much difference between my 5-wood and my 3-wood carry distance. But I feel like I can control the 5-wood more, and I like the ball flight because it's higher. So yeah, I think there's really not, unless you're going for the green, it's not necessarily to hit something if you're not comfortable with it. I always say just hit whatever you're most comfortable with. But yeah, I think it's good to have a club that you can like kind of rely on, which is kind of funny because you can totally tell how I just like don't trust it on that par 3 just now, because I hit that 5 wood like so good every time I need to lay up. But then hitting it into a par 3, okay, granted I was like over club for that hole, but still it's like you could see if I just hit the regular 5 wood shot that I always hit, I would have been fine, like definitely on the green. So yeah, just a lesson to trust your shot. Probably got about 100 yards. Pin is right in the center of the green here. This is definitely a hole that I can go for the pin. Kind of a funny wind there because it fell into the wind, but the flag was only blowing left. But I'm glad I changed my club because it was definitely into the wind. Which do you think is worse, having the right speed and the wrong line, or having the right line and the wrong speed? I think having the right line and the wrong speed is worse, like what I just did. I hate putting it short. I didn't putt it short technically, but I knew that that speed that I hit it at was not hard enough for the ball to go in, and I knew it once I put it, which is like way worse than putting it just way offline in my opinion. Par 4. Looks like there is nothing up there. Probably aim for the stick. So like I said just now, I find it actually very useful to record myself and watch myself play, because I can immediately see if I did something wrong. So for instance, on shots where I like hit too much of a fade, sometimes what happens is I literally just aim too far left with my feet, and basically this makes me like, my alignment is much more open towards the target. And what happens then is, because when you align yourself like that and you swing exiting towards the left, you're gonna hit a cut. Like, it's not rocket science, but it's also very helpful, because most of the time, when something goes wrong, once you reach a certain level, I feel like a lot of it comes down to alignment. And what happens is, if you don't know what you're doing wrong and you think, oh no, maybe I'm just like cutting it too much, and it's not, you don't think it's an alignment thing, and you try to adjust something else, and then you fix something that's not broken, and now you have another issue. So that's why it's also important to like go to the driving range to have alignment days, where you literally just put an alignment rock down, make sure your alignment's good, because I feel like that's the number one thing. It's so hard to feel when you're aiming wrong, because obviously if you feel like it, even when you're aiming wrong, you don't feel like you're aiming wrong, because if you feel like you're aiming wrong, why would you continue aiming wrong? The reason why you aim wrongly is because you don't feel it. So yeah, I think it's super important to have like alignment days at the driving range, just to make sure that your alignment's always in check, because I feel like that's also the first thing to go. I hit a really good drive there, basically to the stick like I was aiming. And I probably have about 160 left, 150, 160, because the pin's behind. Looks like there's nothing much, just gotta make sure you carry it the right distance. So I thought I hit a good second shot there because the wind was blowing right, but it did not blow my ball right, and my ball kicked left. But it's alright, still made a COVID birdie. So I had 153 yards to a front pin over there, and I decided to hit my shot, which carries, well, I hit my 6 iron, which usually carries like 155, but I much prefer hitting a longer club most of the time and just hitting a softer shot rather than taking the shorter club and hitting a full shot. So I mean, it really depends on you as a player. I know some people just can't hit half shots, so obviously it doesn't make sense for you to hit half shots if you don't feel comfortable doing that. But for me, I prefer hitting a half shot, so I usually take the longer club. The pin is in front, and I know that if I hit it really good, I'm gonna probably be over, but I'm just gonna be over the pin. There's still a lot of green past the pin, so it's no big deal. Did I still hit a bad shot? Yes, I did, but you know what? If I'm gonna hit good shots all the time, that's not golf. So you're gonna hit bad shots every now and then. Even if you execute the right plan, choose the right club, it's going to happen. All you can do is try to plan it the best you can. The execution is not always going to be 100%, but when it is, that's when you're gonna make those birdies and make those good scores. Seems like it's 276 to those trees on the left side and 256 to the bunker on the right. Oh boy, I think I see my ball. Do you guys see that white speck above the bunker there? Oh goodness. Right there. Okay, I don't think this was a driver hole. My landing area would have been right there, which is like the smallest point. I should have just hit it somewhere out there. Probably like a 3 or a 5 wood. Now I have a bit of trouble. Okay, I swear I didn't touch it. The ball literally just fell back. But honestly, it was a matter of timing. Look at that. It's basically like sand, okay? I swear I did not touch it. So this is a layup par 5. I think probably like the green is somewhere left. But I think I'm just gonna hit it towards that black stake. Just like 140 yards. I like 140 to this pin, but you can't carry it any shorter than 125. I don't know if you can see the flag right there, because basically if you're short, you're gonna roll all the way back down. So yeah, I want to carry it at least like 130 to be safe, probably. So this is the situation that I'm left with. Now to decide whether I'm gonna chip or putt. So I've gotten this question before about how to choose between when to putt and when to chip. I mean, I think the number one factor is how good of a chipper you are. If you prefer one over the other, like obviously if you prefer putting, then that's likely to be your choice. Or if you prefer chipping, then maybe that's your choice. For me personally, the first thing I see is the lie. Like, is it a lie that's going to be hard to chip on? If it is, then I would consider putting. Most of the time I would chip because I think my chipping is pretty good and like I can rely on it. And also, if I have more than 1 yard of grass that I have to putt through, not the greens grass, but like apron grass, I would rather chip it. It might like affect your speed, because if you putt through the apron grass, you don't know how it's gonna affect the ball. You know, you could hit a hole or hit a rock or something that's underground. I mean, you never know in general. Unless I'm like really by the edge of the green, then I would putt. If not, most of the time I would consider chipping, unless the lie is like really bad. Well, every time I think the wind is gonna take my ball, it does absolutely nothing. Long hole here. It's 427 uphill and straight into the wind. Probably want to go where that guy in the cart is. I hope you can hear me. It's like really windy. I think it's funny how we're like so, as human beings, we're so greedy. Like we have 200 yards to the pin and we're thinking about hitting it close to the pin. It's like, bro, there's a whole green out there for you to hit before you even think about hitting it close to the pin. First you think about what you need to do to hit the green, and then you think about, okay, can I get this close? Is there an opportunity for me to hit this close? If not, hit the green. Stop being so greedy, man. Sometimes I just think about like the thoughts that go through our head and I'm like, are we just like super optimistic or dumb? Isn't it funny how right after I say don't go for the pin, I stick it? It just goes to show, stick to the process and let the outcome take care of itself. So as you could see, I had another shot that was just off the fringe, and I think I thought about another factor that determines whether I chip or putt, which is whether it's uphill or downhill. I think generally when it's downhill I find it easier to putt because then you can kind of just let the ball do its thing, whereas when it's uphill you have to hit it harder and then you have to make sure you get through the grass. It's a lot harder to judge the distance or the speed, I guess. So I feel like another factor that affects it's whether it's uphill or downhill. And for me, generally, uphill I will probably chip and downhill I'll probably putt. So we have reached the final hole of this course. You guys have watched every single hole up until this point. Thank you. You guys are amazing. But also, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna put this into one part or two because it's probably gonna be really long if it's a one-part video. But let me know if you guys would prefer that, like a really long vlog but all 18 holes in one, versus what I've been doing, which is kind of like splitting it into the front nine and the back nine. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends. Let me know anything that you found particularly interesting, or you know, whatever comments. I love to read them, even though I might not reply them all the time. I swear I read them. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more Golf with Jen.